Okay. All right, so we'll just get started here. So first I wanted to tell you about an accountability group that I'm going to be hosting starting on, I think it's the 7th, March 7th. It's the second Monday of the month. And so you guys can all be inviting to that. It's going to be a little different than the typical challenge group. I am going to be going over gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free as well. So that doesn't mean you have to do those things, but I'm going to incorporate them. I know a lot of people that need to go gluten-free or are gluten-free but are like new to it and don't really know all of the stuff. And I found out so much about it that I really want to teach other people all about it. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to schedule a time to do like a live meal prep with everybody. So I'm going to set up a Zoom like this, and we can all be meal prepping together. And I'm going to, so I'll tell you guys ahead of time, like different things that we're going to need. And you can choose, if you don't want to do all of them, that's fine. So we're going to do some like freezer meal type stuff. So we're going to throw stuff in bags and we can freeze it so that we can throw it in the crock pot later. So I'm going to the whole group the focus is about being busy, right? Because everybody's busy. And so this is going to be about figuring out how you can stick to a healthy diet, get your workouts in, and still have a life. So it's going to be all based upon, your busy March and how you can still manage everything. So that's the approach I'm taking with this accountability group. I was calling it the Busy March Madness group. You can twist it however you want. If your market is moms, you can call it the Busy Mom group. You can call it whatever you want to do for your market. You can do that. If you are in the gluten-free, market this as more of a gluten-free group. But those are all of the different things that I am going to be going over in this group. So it's going to be a little different. Like I said, we're going to do the live chat with the meal prep. And I'll be sharing a lot of recipes this time around with the gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free type lifestyle. And then also like quick, simple things so that, it's geared towards busy people, which most people are these days, right? Then we have the 22 Hard Corpse video coming out. That's coming out on, I believe, the 22nd of the month. So if you are at Success Club this month, talk about the 22 Hardcore workout now and get those people on board now. So don't talk about it before you have reached your goal for the month, though, because what's going to happen is you're going to get all these lists of names that people want to do it next month, and then you are in trouble because you didn't get this month yet. So get this month down, then you can start talking about the 22 Hardcore DVD series that's coming out. If you haven't done it yet on demand, you can go do one of them. It's a really, really great program. It's short. It's nice and sweet. You can even shorten it down more. So if you, my friend that actually was in the test group was telling me about this. He said, you could even do it in a shorter amount of time. So if you are, a busy person, if you go through the DVD and write down the moves and you can understand the moves, you can do it on your own schedule. So because he'll take some breaks in between and, he's counting. And so it's a little slower for that purpose. But, if you need to go quicker through them, or maybe you want to make it harder, that's a way to do it. So it's a really awesome program. He's just a really, really great guy. Tony Horton is hilarious. He's just a people person, and it comes out through his videos too. So that is going to be a great one. Be talking about that. The test group is already up. So what's going to happen with that is anybody that's interested now, you're going to add them in. If they don't purchase the program before the start date, so we'll actually start the true accountability group a week after it releases. That way people have time to order it and get it in. So that'll actually start the week after. But you can put all of those people in it now. And I know it's been a little quiet in there. My goal, if you're in that group now, is to treat it like an active challenge group now. Because the more we can talk in there, the people that are, just sitting in there and really have never been a part of an accountability group are gonna see what it's like, and it's gonna make them want to be a part of the actual one when it begins. So, be talking about what you're doing, be talking about Shakeology, how it's, helping you, changing you. Those are all things that are gonna help bring the people in the group, over to, I definitely want this, okay? So be sure to be more active in that one as well. And then you guys have, 5 days left to hit Success Club. So that is the 3 Lives Club. And so we are really working towards just helping 3 lives. And there is still time. There is absolutely still time to hit whatever your goal is. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting at 0. I can't do this. You absolutely can. You can do that in one day. If you set your mind to it, you talk to enough people, you can do it in one day, okay? Just don't be afraid. Get out there and invite people. And tonight we're going to talk about kind of how to do that, how to go through the process of getting them past the price, and just going through those steps. So I think that's about it. Does anybody else have anything coming up? Any other groups? Kyle?
Elaine and I have one starting the 29th. It's probably just be a general group. We have not come up with a name yet, but we are going to discuss that probably tomorrow and get that rolling. So that's going to be a group that Elaine and I are going to run.
Perfect. Yeah, so that one's starting on the 29th. So if you guys have challengers that are wanting to start in groups now, that's one you can add them in. Okay, so just comment in Fearless and Fit, say, hey, I want to be a part of this, and they will get you added in there. Okay?
I'm going to start a Body Beast group on March 15th if anybody has any challengers that want to do Body Beast.
Perfect. Awesome.
Me and Angie are starting a group on March 7th. We're doing a 21-day fix and 21-day fix extreme group.
Awesome. Awesome.
Megan?
So any of these groups, guys, that you want to participate in, just say, hey, somebody's talked about this. I want to get in it, and we'll make sure you're in it. We'll get into it. Priya, were you going to say something? No, you don't? Okay. I wasn't sure. All right, I'm just going to make sure everybody's muted so we don't get that feedback noise. Okay. All right. So tonight we are talking about how to get people to look past the price, how to get on board, and build the customers, the clients that are going to stay with you. So I'm going to break it down into, I guess, like 4 sections. I think it's 4. So we're going to talk about value. We're going to talk about how to, kind of break it down for that person, the money back, and then how to see them through. So we're going to start with value. So when you first talk to somebody about the opportunity, you will want to take notes on this. So if you don't have a paper and a pen or something to type on, you'll want to be taking notes. So the first thing is to be aware of you're asking more questions and listening more than you're talking. And this is a huge mistake that most new coaches do. Talking right here, I did it too. It was like word vomit. And it was because I was so excited. I wanted everybody to know everything about Shakeology. And the truth is, some people just don't care. So they don't care about all of that stuff. And so I scared away a lot of people because I would, just word vomit. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, whoa. Like, I didn't need to know, like, the history of Shakeology, right? So take a step back and really kind of just restrain yourself, because it's going to feel like that. You're going to be like, oh, I want to say this and that. Restrain yourself from saying so much. And so typically when I talk to somebody, the first question I ask them is, what does your daily diet look like? And I say, walk me through a day of what you typically would eat. That is the very first question I ask them. So if somebody comes to you and they're like, oh my gosh, I saw this hammer and chisel, I want it. Like, I don't just say, okay, here's where you go to purchase it. Never. I never, ever do that. I say, oh, that's great. I'm so excited you're interested in the program. But let's talk a little bit about some of your goals and where you're at right now. And that's when I say, what does your daily diet look like? Walk me through it. So as they give me what they typically eat, this gives me amazing idea of, number one, how to relate to them. Number two, what their strengths and weaknesses are on their day-to-day basis. And number three, where Shakeology is really going to fit into their life. So if you don't know much about diet as a coach, really start to learn about it. And you don't need to know everything. But I'll tell you, the main things are that they're eating every 2 to 3 hours, that they are eating only like 2 to 3 servings of simple carbs. They are pairing a protein with a complex carb, which is like fruit and vegetables at every serving. And that, they're eating clean. They're not eating all this processed stuff. And so those are the biggest things. And if you haven't been through an accountability group where you've learned those things, then get into this next one, because I'm going to talk all about it on the 7th. So as a coach, you should be engaged in these accountability groups so you can learn this stuff too. Okay, so that's the first question. As I look at what they tell me, I can say, oh my gosh, like, I used to eat cereal all the time for breakfast too. Okay, so you want to relate. Find a way to relate to them. Okay, then how did you fix it? How did you change it? Now I eat eggs, and I will sometimes have a piece of sprout grain toast with it. But I have to make sure that I eat within the first hour of waking up. Okay? If they are completely skipping breakfast, then I can say, it's so important to eat first thing in the morning within an hour of waking up. And since you don't like to eat, is it because of your time, or is it because you don't like breakfast? That is where Shakeology is going to go in their life, right? So that's a way to kind of see where Shakeology is going to fit in. If you don't really notice anything in their diet where, let's say they are eating every 3 hours and they, are doing pretty well with their food, then you kind of go to the next question. And that is, where would you think the toughest part of your day is? Is it hard to eat a certain meal? Do you get tired a certain time of day? Do you start to crave foods at a certain time of day? Do you start to get really hungry at a certain time of day? Any of those questions should trigger something, okay? oh my gosh, yeah, I get so tired around 3 o'clock. I just feel like I'm sitting at my desk and I can't function, right? All right, that's where Shakeology is gonna go into their routine. So what you say is, oh, I totally understand, that's how I used to feel. And this is exactly where Shakeology would fit into your life. And what it's going to do is provide you with the proper energy and nutrients to sustain you the rest of the day. And it's going to fight off those late day cravings for that chocolate. Okay? So that's how you're relating, and then you're giving them an example how the Shakeology is going to fit in there and why it's going to work for them. All right? Then you can talk about, how do you think your portion control is? Do you typically eat, a really big meal, a really small meal? Ask them about their portion control. And like I said before, ask and make sure they are eating every 2 to 3 hours. And then you can also ask them about their water intake. How much do you drink a day? Those are all key things that you should know as their coach, because this is where they're going to see their success. The diet is the number one thing that they need to get on point in order to see success. It is 75 to 80% of your results. So that's why I talk about it first. And that's why I tell them where Shakeology is going to fit, because if they don't see the value of Shakeology, they're not going to buy it. My husband bought Shakeology first, and I knew nothing about it. And I just see this bag in our kitchen. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And he's like, oh, like my boss told me about it. And, it's a protein, which is not just a protein. But so I was like, how the heck much was that? And he was like, and at that time it wasn't as expensive as it is now. And he told me, and I was like, what? I was like, you did not spend that on that bag of protein. Like, are you kidding me? You could go to GNC or Costco and get it for like $40, right? And that's what's going through most people's minds, was exactly what I said. So, I did not believe in it. I didn't, accept the fact or want him to buy it, because I didn't understand the value of it. I didn't understand how it could change my day-to-day life, how it would give me more energy, help me see results, help boost my metabolism, help boost my immune system. I knew nothing about that. What I knew was that it was going to help build his muscle. And that's all that I thought about. So give specific examples to people. So, if it's somebody that's like, oh my gosh, like I have young kids and they just like wear me out and blah, 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 relate to them. Oh my goodness, I know, like it can be so exhausting. And, but whenever I drink my shake, I know what time of day it's going to hit me. And I drink my shake a little bit before that, and it gets me through. And like for me personally, I've drank my shake all different times of the day, but I know if I don't drink it, like 10 o'clock is my time slot. Because if I don't drink it at 10 o'clock, I am like, where's the chocolate? And I know that if I don't have it early enough, that's what's going to happen. So, everybody has a different time that is going to work for them, but it's your job as a coach to ask the questions and figure out where it needs to go, and also how it is going to help them specifically. And then that's where you have the opportunity to talk a little bit about your experience with it, because it is important, your experience with Shakeology too. But I don't want you to talk about it first. I want you to ask the questions first, relate to them, and then tell your story. Say, this is how it's helped me the most. And, really tell them, because, for me, I didn't have a weight loss story. I was always, thinner. I was always an athlete. So I didn't have this big transformation on the outside of what Shakeology did for me. But what I do know is that I used to be sick all the time. I had Lyme disease as a child, and it destroyed my immune system. And literally, like, someone would cough like down the road, and I would end up with something that, like, doctors were like, I don't know, but you're sick. Like, and they wouldn't know what it was. And so I would be sick all the time. And that honestly was the biggest thing. Yes, it does give me a ton of energy. And as I mentioned, it curbs my cravings. But my immune system, you know, I rarely get sick. Rarely. And for me, that's a huge thing. So, and if you're sick a lot, you'll know. Like, I just want to be well, right? So that was my biggest thing. And so it's important for me to talk about that because, you know, people don't see this. I can't say, oh, like, I've lost all this weight, you know? Yes, it's kept me healthy, and I have seen a little transformation, but it's not this huge transformation that some of you might have. Okay, so talk about how Shakeology helps you and then why it's going to help them. This is where, you know, you are instilling the value of Shakeology in them. And I'll tell you, you have to talk about it. Do Shakeology trainings. You can find them on, you know, the Team Beachbody. You can find them in our file section. You can look it up on YouTube. This is how you get long-term clients. Because if your challengers don't understand the importance of Shakeology and the importance of drinking it every single day, they won't. And then they won't be a reoccurring customer, and they will never become a coach. Okay? So you have to instill that in them immediately. And some of you have probably heard me talk about this, but another kind of phrase I use is, you know, it's very important that you drink it every single day, because if you don't, it's like a car. You decide that you want to switch over your fuel from regular to diesel. If you fill it up one time after it ran on regular for, you know, the entire lifespan of the car, and you fill it up one time with diesel, you will not see a change in the way your car runs and the engine. You won't. You have to give it time, and you have to fill it up every single time with diesel for a long period of time before you see any changes. And our bodies are the same exact way. And I will use that analogy with people because, you know, we have to kind of detox ourselves. We have to get rid of all of this stuff before it can start to build up. And it's not going to be as effective if you don't drink it every single day. It just won't. So you can take that, you can steal that, run with that, talk to people about that, because they have to understand that our bodies operate in the same exact way. Okay, so after the Shakeology talk, the diet talk, we've established where they can change things. We've established where Shakeology will fit in, why they need it, how it's going to help them. Then I move on to their workout routine. And I say, or I ask them, what does your current workout routine, if any, look like? Then they tell me, you know, what they're doing. And sometimes, you know, because the reason why we go through this is because sometimes people come to you and they're like, oh, I want to do Insanity Max 30. And then you find out that, like, they haven't worked out. And you're like, yeah, let's talk about that. Like, that's because if they went and bought that program, they would hate it and they would never get through it, and they'd be discouraged and say, this crap doesn't work, right? So you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are choosing the correct program for them. So I say, what does your current workout routine look like? And I will ask them specifically, you know, is it more cardio based? Do you lift more? Do you enjoy lifting more? Do you enjoy more of the cardio stuff? Do you enjoy yoga? Do you enjoy running? Do you enjoy dance? What is the workout that you wouldn't mind doing? Because as I mentioned before, you guys, like, the nutrition is the piece that they need, And yes, the workout is important, but if it's not something that they're going to enjoy doing, they aren't going to do it. And on top of it, exercise is important, but it's just about getting your body to move. Not everybody wants to have a six-pack, It's about being healthy. And you don't have to run a marathon to be healthy. So keep that in mind. I am more of an extreme person. So if I'm not like crying at the end, then I don't feel like I did my job. But that's like the athlete in me. And not everybody is like that. So keep that in mind. If they like to dance, like for me, size is like, it does nothing for me. I enjoy it because I like to dance, but fitness wise, I would never count that as my workout. So, but I'm not like other people. For other people, that's great. If they love to dance and they're not crazy about the hardcore stuff, get them size, because it's just about getting them to move. Okay. Like I said, not everybody's looking for a six-pack. It's just about being healthy. And this is where, also the diet piece comes in, because I really, like in accountability groups, I say, like, treat yourself, because it's about a balanced lifestyle. And if you don't even, on social media, it can be very deceiving if all you ever show is that you're eating completely healthy, you're doing your workouts. People are going to be like, I can never do that every single day of my life, right? So if you're having a treat meal, share it. Say, I've worked so hard all week, and tonight we're having a family pizza night, So I typically don't share a lot of my photos when we do that, only because it can be a trigger for other people, and they're like, oh my gosh, that looks so good, now I want it. But still talk about it, because it's that 80-20 rule. It's not about being perfect. It's about, being healthy. So that includes having some treats and living a life that you can build a lifestyle instead of this diet. We want to get away from this yo-yo dieting. So we want to teach a lifestyle that they can withstand their entire life. So when they say, I've graduated this accountability group, I know now how to eat, I know that I can treat myself, and I can stay this weight, get better, whatever, for the rest of my life, because I know how to live a balanced life. Okay. It's not about cutting down for a competition, it's just about health. So that workout is so important to understand that it's geared towards that person. If they already have a workout established, then I ask them, do you see changes in your body? Are you seeing changes in your body currently? Because a lot of times what happens is, avid gym goers, I was one of them, my body never changed. It was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go run on the treadmill for an hour, and then I'm going to go do this same lifting that I did last week, the same exact day. And then I did it, but like my body never changed, because your body gets used to that routine. That's why it's important to change it up. So I ask them, when's the last time you've seen any changes in your body? And then I'll ask them, when's the last time you changed up your routine? So how long have you been doing that program that you're doing? Then I ask them if they consider themselves a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. That's really important, because if they are more of a beginner, you don't want them going to like a 21-day fix extreme. You want them starting 21-day fix. So those are the questions that you are going to ask for the value. Okay, so that's all included in the value, how you're instilling value. So, when you ask these questions about the workout, then of course, like the Shakeology piece, you're going to intertwine. Oh, you love to dance? We have this great program. It's called Size. It's so much fun. I absolutely love it. It keeps me going without thinking about doing my workout. And, you can see some great results doing it. So talk about a program. slip it in there. Or you can say, we have 2 really great programs that kind of seem to fit, your need. We have the 21-Day Fix Extreme and Hammer and Chisel. This one is geared towards more of, the lifting. This one's geared more towards a combination of everything. So, give them examples of what the workouts are. And I will say, okay, do you want me to show you a video? I can send you a video so you can check it out beforehand and let me know if that's what, would fit best in your life. And, we have so much material, guys. You can send them a sample video. You can send them a results video. Just go in the back office of your Team Beachbody, click videos, and it all comes up right there. Share those with people. When people can see a visual and they're like, oh my gosh, they got those results in 21 days. That's awesome. I need that, So give them that piece. Don't miss out on any of it, okay? So you're going to talk about it. You're going to show them. You're going to tell them why it works. You're going to tell them if you've done the program, share your results. Tell them why you like it. And hopefully that gives them enough to know, all right, let's do this. This is a great, great program. So, of course, it doesn't always work that way. People don't always jump on board right away, right? So I tell them, but now sometimes people are like, right off the bat, how much is it? And I don't tell them. And I don't tell them immediately because I know that if they don't see the value in it, they're not going to want it. It could be $40 or it could be $200. They're not going to want it if they don't see the value in it. Just like I didn't see the value in Shakeology, and I didn't give it the time of day because I didn't know the value of it. I just knew the price. So we need to really be aware of kind of skirting away from that question. So, if they're asking the price, I'll say, especially on the internet, it's kind of easy to skip over like you didn't see that. You can just kind of keep going with how you want the conversation. You take control of the conversation, okay? So you say, if they asked you before, you went through all the questions, say, all right, so what did you say your workout plan is currently? You just kind of divert, ask another question. Then I will tell them, once I feel they know the value of it, they really understand it. We've gone over which programs would work. We've gone over, so a lot of times I'll even talk about flavors, and cafe latte is like my fave. So I will tell them, in the Shakeology question piece, oh my gosh, do you like coffee? Oh yeah, I love coffee. We have this awesome new flavor. I'm obsessed with it. It takes away all my cravings. I don't even drink as much coffee now because it's so good. And you need to try it. Like, it's awesome. And they're like, oh, really? Da-da-da. So I'm talking up a flavor already. If they say, no, I don't, then say, oh, okay. Like, are you a chocolate person, strawberry person? So you can even get the flavor out of them at the beginning of the conversation. So then once I know they have the value, we've picked everything out for them, they've maybe watched a video, then I say, I feel it's time. I can tell them the price. So I don't just tell them. A lot of times then it leads into them asking, okay, so how much is all this? And I say, okay, so what you get is the entire, you might want to write this down just so you have and you can add anything else you feel that I've missed. You get the entire month of Shakeology, flavor of your choice. You get nutritional help and guidance. You will get a nutritional guide and some recipes in the actual plan, and then more in the accountability group. You will get a meal plan in our group, as well as clean eating recipes. You will get the fitness program itself along with the schedule of when to do what days. So it's a mindless thing. It tells you exactly what to do. Then, because you are purchasing it through me, you will be able to become in a network and support from coaches and other clients that all are in an accountability group together. And so you'll have daily support, daily motivation, and you will always have the long-term support from me. So if you need anything additional, I can help you with that as well. So if that's a specific meal plan, if that's, you're having trouble with something, I am your girl or guy to get you the results you're looking for and to be the constant support system that you need. So for all of that, it's $140 with the entire program. And so if it's like the hammer and chisel, or if it's 21 Day Fix, I will even throw in there. You will get the shaker cup. You will get portion control containers with a plan of how to use them and what foods go in it, as well as recipes. And some of the programs also include the resistance bands. So know your programs, because you will want to add that in there. That's more stuff that they get for $140 to $200. So when you break that down, they're getting a crap ton for like nothing, right? But if they don't see that, they're going to be like, no, they get a lot. They get a ton for $140. And then if it's a program that's on sale, I say, this is actually on sale. So you're also saving $20 this month as well. And then, of course, if you have any incentives, you throw that in there too. So just a little on the incentive side, we are not... So you can do like a free cookbook. You could do a gift card to somewhere. You could do like a Amazon card, or you could do a water bottle. You could do, whatever it is. A lot of times when stuff on Beachbody's site goes on sale, I will get some stuff and then I'll give that away. So that's even more. That's a ton. That is a ton. So if they're still like, I don't know, like, wishy-washy about it, and they're still questioning you, I'll say, listen, I never agree with them that it's a lot of money, because it's not. It's really not. And the second you say that you think it's a lot of money, then they're going to say, why am I going to do this? I will tell them I used to think it was a lot of money before I understood what it was. And I'm honest with them, just like I was honest with you. I'll tell them the story because I didn't understand it. And I'll say, then I did my research and I saw how it changed people's lives, and I had to try it. So then I will say, we also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you decide that this isn't for you, then you can return it and get your full money's worth back. And you don't even, it could be a empty bag of Shakeology. You could have used the entire thing and they will still refund you. And that actually was what got me to say, I'm going to try Shakeology, was I knew that I could return it and get my money's worth back because I didn't want to spend that much money. So I will throw that piece in there too if they're still giving me some, negative feedback about it. Then if we need to go further, I do. And I say, listen, I understand that, you might think this is a lot of money, but let me break this down for you. If you were to do this, aside from working through me, you would have to get a personal trainer. You would have to pay for a gym membership. You would have to pay for a nutritionist or at least a meal plan. On top of that, also the vitamins and protein that your body needs. And it's actually multiple vitamins because we have 70 superfoods. And normal vitamins and other drinks don't have anywhere near that. So a gym membership, you can even add it up for them. Say, okay, a gym membership typically $45-50 a month. Then that's monthly. That's not one time. You can reuse your DVDs every single month, all year long if you want. This you have to pay monthly. Personal trainer also by session. No, that's another couple hundred a month. Nutritionist, same thing. That could be anywhere from $100 to $300, including a meal plan. And then the vitamins, same thing, hundreds of dollars. So do you still think that all of these things that I told you that you would get and the continued support from me and our team is worth it? Is it worth that money? And sometimes it takes breaking it down that far for people to understand, wow, I really am getting a lot for my money. And if people give me, feedback, or not feedback, if people give me pushback about Shakeology and the price of Shakeology alone, I say, okay, if I can understand if you don't believe this is in your budget, but there are ways, let's talk through this, because there are ways that you can cut other costs in your life. Do you usually go out to lunch? Do you buy a Starbucks coffee daily? Do you buy, I can ask them all these questions where they can say, oh yeah, like I could find $4 a day to pay for a Shakeology, because there are ways to do it. And, Shakeology is going to help curb cravings. So, if you go for a nightly run for like chocolate or for ice cream or for a bag of chips, all of that is going to be eliminated. So that's where you can go back to their daily diet. You can even ask them, what's your kryptonite? Like, is it chocolate? It is ice cream? Like, what is it that, you really feel is holding you back? And most of the time it is the sugary stuff. But you can say, you know what? You won't be paying for that ice cream. You won't be paying for, whatever it is, because Shakeology is going to take care of that. So be confident in the way you talk to people, because, as you can see, it doesn't need to be something scary. You just need to know how to talk to them. And, maybe if you kind of aren't really sure about all the stuff in Shakeology, you would like to get a little bit more educated, go do it. The information is there. Shay Stanford is a great source of all Shakeology stuff. If you just look her up on YouTube, you will find all kinds of amazing videos about Shakeology. So that's Shay Stanford. So, speaking with confidence, always asking questions and really listening, because like I said, you need to be able to pull things from what they've told you so that you can then say, listen, you told me this. Sometimes I even say, how would it make you feel? You're telling me, one I skipped is, what are your goals? That's kind of important. So that would go with, usually I'd put that in the fitness piece. What are your goals? Because if their goal is to, tone up, they're already thin, they want to just tone up, obviously you're going to pick a different program probably for them. But, knowing their goals is going to help you, because then you can ask them, how would they feel? How would you feel if you reach that goal? And it doesn't have to be weight loss. It could be, I want to be able to run around with my kids again. I want to be able to, go and not worry about what I look like or how I feel when I go shopping. Okay. So then you put them in this place of understanding and how would you feel if you met that goal? Because now they're tying in a whole nother piece, or you are tying in a whole nother piece of an emotion that's going to trigger them to say, oh gosh, like that would be amazing. Like that would absolutely be amazing. And you can even say, close your eyes and imagine that. Just imagine that and soak that in. You can say, we're going to get you there. We're going to get you there, and that is how you're going to feel. And that allows them to put the emotional piece into this whole thing. Because if you haven't experienced it yet, you will see that Beachbody pulls out that emotional space in you as well. And it's going to give you confidence, and it's going to build you up like no other. So it's a huge, huge piece of Beachbody and our team in general. Okay. So does anybody have questions about that? No? Okay. All right. If you think of anything afterwards, let me know. But that is the typical way I go about talking to people and asking questions and all of that. So, all right, we're going to move on to like pages quickly. Not, like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about like pages because in the near future, we're going to really, really dive into it specifically and have assignments and things like that to do. So it's going to really boost your page. So number one, you don't have to have a like page, all right? I like to have one because it allows me to put all of my things in one spot, and I don't use my personal page as much as I used to. When I started, I used my personal page for all of my business. And then I kind of transitioned people over to my like page. So if you're a new coach, you don't have to feel like you have to make a like page immediately. If you want to, it's a great idea to first be, sorry, my cat always loves to say hi. He's like all over me whenever I do anything. So if you want to make a like page right away, I suggest you get some solid content on there before you invite anybody to it. So you can absolutely make one right away, but get stuff on there, because if people come to your like page and they're like, there's one post, like, what is this about? You know, they're not going to follow you. So put some solid content on there first. So of course, you know, this goes back to, you have to know who you are, those 5 rocks, which I talk about every call. You know, you have to know who you are and what message that you're trying to give people, because this is how you're going to target, you know, that niche. And if you're all over the place with your posts, people aren't going to follow you either, because they're just going to be confused. You don't want to confuse people. You want to have a direction, and they should expect something out of you. They should know what, you know, kind of what they're going to hear from you daily. Okay, so there's 2 big things. One is providing value, and 2, have engagement, okay? So the engagement piece is obviously the more tricky piece. So value is, you know who you are and what message you're going to bring to them, and be consistent. So you need to be posting on there at least 3 times a day, at the very least, because, you know, like pages are tricky because you don't know who's on when, and like pages are all about algorithms. So this is why the engagement piece is so important, because if people aren't engaging, then your page isn't being seen on anybody's stuff. So it's kind of crazy. It's not, that's why, you know, when you first start out, it's almost easier to use your personal page, because you already have a bunch of people there that can like your stuff. Because when you transfer to a like page, if you don't have, you know, a solid following yet, the engagement is going to be really hard to get your page out there. But obviously you have to start somewhere, right? But I don't want you to expect this like huge, you know, result from it immediately, because it takes time building your page. I mean, I've had it for 3 years and I still don't think I have really that many followers for Facebook, considering there's like millions and millions of people on Facebook. So Oh my gosh, I have like cat hair on my nose. I'm sorry. I keep like, I'm like itching. Okay. So you want to give them a reason to follow you. And you always want to give them calls to action. So like a lot of times when I post, I will say, like this photo if you got your workout in today. Or if I do like a recipe, be sure to share this to your page so you can review it later or use it later. Tag another fit mom in this post. I always try to give a call to action at the bottom of the page, because if you've listened to any podcasts, if you listen to any YouTubers, they always say, like this page. If this was any value to you, please share this with your friends. Please give us a positive comment. Please, rate us. They're always asking you to do those things because that's how they get to be seen, right? So you have to give them these calls to action in order for them to start really engaging on your page. And it's like people want to engage. People just, like, if you're not asking them to, they're not going to do it. So when you ask them to do things, they're going to feel like they matter. So that goes into asking for people's opinions and you can do posts. So you'll see sometimes, like, some of us coaches will do like, which dress should I wear? Like, which picture is better? Like, I'm getting ready to go on vacation and I don't know what color to do my hair. Like, seems super weird and silly, but those are the posts that you get like outrageous engagement on, because people want to put their opinion on everything. They want to be heard. So, ask questions, it's ask for people's opinion. Sounds so silly, but ask for people's opinion. And there's, creative ways. Once again, YouTube and the internet is a wonderful thing. So look it up. Look up, what is, a good engagement post on Facebook. Those are the things that are going to help you, give you ideas for what to use. Also, another thing is doing giveaways and freemiums. So this doesn't have to be something, huge. I didn't do a giveaway probably for a really long time. But what I did do was freemiums. And what that means is you can say, comment below. You can give them like a list of things to do. Comment below, tag a friend, and share this post to receive a free meal plan. So then you can message them a free meal plan once they do those steps. Well, now they just shared your page, tagged a friend, and liked it to help boost your engagement. So now your page is being seen more. It could even be a free one-on-one chat with you on how to, give them a couple tips in their daily diet, whatever it is. It doesn't have to cost you any money. It can be something where, you could even run a free group. You could say, to get into my free, clean eating group, or free couch to 5K group, or, whatever. It could be whatever you're into. Then, or get my next 5 gluten-free recipes or whatever. Do X, Y, and Z. So those are great ways to get engagement on your page and to get more people following you. Another thing too is to ask people to like your page or share your page. And that meaning friends, family, tag, share it on your own page, on your own personal page. Say, hey, I created my like page. I'm so excited about it. This is what you can expect from it. And, tag your closest family and friends. So now it's on your page, it's on their page, people get to see it. So You can also go in there, you can invite people to like your page. So on your actual like page, you can pull up all your friends and invite them to like your page. That's how I started getting all of my people at first. That's all I did. I just invited everybody to like my page. And then once you get more into it, you can boost your page, you can boost your posts. But this isn't something I want you spending a ton of money on, because, you know, you need to build a following, I think, not a huge following, but you do need to build a little bit of a following before you do some of these things, because they're still not going to, you know, if you only have a couple hundred people on there, they're going to be like, I don't know about this. So try and get, you know, your friends and your friends' friends to like your stuff first before you're boosting. Boosting can be powerful, but that's a whole nother can of worms. You have to learn how to, you know, target people. You have to figure out what's your best target market. So, you know, that gets a little tricky. But so when you're first starting out, just talk about it on your own page, invite people to like it, tag your friends and family, and really just do it that way. And eventually it will start to pick up. But you do have to be intentional about it. This is something you have to be intentional about it. People are going to unfollow you if they don't see value in what you're posting. And if, you know, you only post every once in a while, because it's like, why follow somebody? Like, if you see some of the really, really popular pages, they post like every hour. It's crazy. And I'm not saying you have to do that, because they have hired people to do that. But, you know, just be consistent and post 3 times a day. And you can even, if you're a structured person, you can even say, okay, first one in the morning is always going to be motivational. Second one during the day is always going to be about food. Third one in the day is always going to be about my workout. You can give yourself these guidelines to help you so that each day it makes it a little bit easier. It gives you direction to know what to be posting about. Does that make sense? Okay. I was going to say another thing and I don't remember what it was. Make sure your pictures are clear. Make sure, you know, you don't have too much going on. I'm talking about your cover photo and your actual like profile photo. You want to be able to see your face clearly. They want to know who you are and get to know you immediately off the bat. People are going to follow you off of the first things that they see. And your profile photo, your cover photo, and the first, or I should say the last post you did, are crucial. So like if you have a page and then, you know, you think, oh gosh, that post I did yesterday really like kind of sucked, you can go back and delete it. Because if somebody sees your stuff and they want to come and look at your page, and let's say they see a couple posts that are like, maybe they're not going to follow you because of that. So always have the last few ones like the best of the best. So don't feel like you can never go back and delete posts, because you can. Or you can even hide them. You can hide them from your page. So that way you don't lose them completely. And then when you create your like page, honestly, the best thing is to just have it as your name. And it can be like Amy DeSanzo Fitness, or, you know, mine was always Fearless and Fit, but I've come to find out that, you know, it makes it harder for people to identify with you, and it makes it harder for people to find you. So having it as your name is actually the better thing to do. And like I said, you can always add something like, you know, Kyle Devlin's Fitness, or, you know, whatever. But have your name in there, forefront. Okay. All right. So any questions about that one? I mean, I'm sure there's a million because like pages can go in so many different directions. But I hope that gives you a little bit of guidance how to start one, how to just what's really important in them, and where to start. So do you guys have any questions about that? No? Okay. And once again, guys, YouTube is your best friend for everything. I promise you. It'll show you like how to find your niche, how to target your niche, like all of that. So don't hesitate to Google search, YouTube, all of it.
All right. Good night, Amy.
All right, Kyle, we'll see you later. All right, guys, thank you so much for getting on. And if you come up with any questions after this call, just do a little comment in the Fearless and Fit page, and we'll get back to you on it all. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, guys, keep up the great work, and let's kick butt the last 5 days of the month.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, guys, see you later.